Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 49 of my Factorio Space Age Guide. So in the last episode, we started placing some of the blueprints that we made in episode 47. Yeah, episode 47. And we kind of started to set a lot of that up. We didn't quite finish all of it. We started to set up the train hub. We made sure to put the blueprints down that will start sending out our signals. We still have some connections to make for these, so we also created a new smelting snack. A new smelting stack. Yes, we are hungry for more resources. Anyways, so I tore down this copper mine, and said that I would off camera rebuild it, and I did, and it is almost good to go. And then the lack of copper from this line is actually probably backing up our green circuits a little bit. But you know what? That's okay. It will eventually get there. I believe it has already started to bring in some materials. Here we go. Okay, and then once this one gets... Oh, really? Like, honestly. So we also did a couple of tasking things around the base, and there's still quite a bit of tasking that we need to do. And so, okay, in this episode, we are 100% dropping trains. Like, you know, I don't like having one episode or the other, and not having, like, we just, made these train prints, and then in the next episode, we didn't even drop a train. It's like, come on. All right, but we are 100% dropping trains in this episode. We're going to do that first. Then after that, we are going to set up a module build over here on the end. So I can kind of start to prep a little bit of that. We're going to tear down some trees. We're going to need a bit of space. So, and I did a little bit of testing before, and where did my... There was somewhere here. Yeah, there were a couple of sections where some of the blueprints that I was placing didn't quite give us the circuit connections that we needed, so we are just going to make sure to have those spread out. Okay, so like I said, I did a little bit of testing. So before we can even send trains off, so some of you have probably noticed that when we set up the train, train groups, we did not put an interrupt in for fuel. And most guides that you watch will have a fuel guide and like an interrupt that allows it to get refueled. We don't need that because we have our train hub right here, and we have fuel being made right next door. So we're just going to drag this over. But you know what? We're not actually going to go with rocket fuel. We are going to go right to the end. We're going with nuclear power. Let me do this in map view. So conveniently, let me line this up. We can actually just drag this right through blue undergrounds, and that will get us all the way to the end and in a perfect alignment with being able to refuel the trains. We will unfortunately have to add in power poles, like extra power poles, but that's not a big deal. So let's get these going before we get into nuclear power. We also need to make sure that all of this is connected to the network, and that's going to be pretty easy. Okay, so in our blueprint, we had the green wire. We were going to... we are going to connect all of these together. We need to make sure that they're all sending out the signals when necessary onto the main circuit lines, which is our, city block grid. Nope, I need more. Okay, and initially I had kind of thought about, you know what? We can have the train stations also send these signals to the train. That way, if they arrive here and they, drop their cargo, they could, in theory, just go to another mining outpost. They don't even have to go to the shunting station, which also needs to be connected to the main line. Like, everything that we have needs to be connected to the main line, so this is only connected to this power pole. We are going to need to add connections for actual power. I should have put these in the blueprint. I'm not going to worry about these because I don't think we're doing anything with those. Where is, and then we need to connect these to the network as well, so we can either just, chain it over like that. Okay, and that will ensure that whatever signal is being broadcast will be recognized by these train stations. And that will give these power, and why is it disabled? Okay, so these have the correct symbols. Oh, okay, so we need to connect this down the line as well. Okay, so now the signals are being read by the train stations. They are active. Now, if you remember in, I think it was episode 46, where we discussed kind of like the basics of trains, and the main reason why I wanted to go over some of that was because of what is about to happen. So we're going to set up some fuel here, some nuclear power, and then we're going to start dropping trains. So what is actually going to happen is we're going to start out here just dropping a bunch of trains. Since we can't really connect them to any of the train stations, they will immediately go to shunting. Once they go to shunting, they will read the inputs, or if there are any signals on the network, the station will then send that signal to the train. The train will then go out. Now, they do prefer the path of least resistance, so whatever the nearest mining outpost is, that is the first one that they are going to arrive to. So if we have a train limit of 3, that means that just for this train station alone, we will need 3 trains, or let's say that the 2 together. So we will need 6 trains here before any of the trains ever think about going to this train station. So if you have an outpost like all the way out here and it doesn't have trains, basically that means that you aren't saturated enough and you need to put more trains down. One nice thing about that is the shunting station. So if you look down at, like, for instance, right now we only have 1 shunting yard. If you have no trains in your shunting yard, you need more trains. If your shunting yard is completely 100% full of trains, you have too many. And that is the easiest way that we can keep track of this. We do not have to worry about how many trains does this station have, how many trains does this station have. It doesn't even matter. Just look at your shunting yard. That's it. We're aiming to maybe have about half, and that is perfectly fine. The reason, I think I went over this, but the reason why I don't want to connect the train stations here is because of the shunting yard. So once the train comes over here and empties, in theory, it goes to the shunting yard. If this was connected, it would actually read the signal and prefer to go to a provider. Well, what happens is a train from the shunting yard comes over to the miner, gets filled up, goes from the miner to goes from the provider to the requester. Once it gets to the requester, if it had the signal, it would then want to go to a provider. Well, once the train leaves the provider, its slot is immediately filled with a train from the shunting yard. So the only way that we could actually have this set up to send the train signal and have the train go to the next provider would be if we had literally exactly, or maybe a little less than, the amount of trains that we can handle. So I am not even going to worry about that. We're going to assume that train goes from shunting yard to provider, from provider to requester, from requester back to shunting, and that's perfectly fine. We don't need any kind of fuel interrupts because they will all be passing through here at some point, and this is where they will be fueled. Okay, so what do we need for nuclear power? So we need two actually, centrifuges. And we are going to, how am I going to set this up? Something like this. We'll make two of them. They can output here and here. And these also need inputs. No. Hold shift. Yeah, so we're just going to drag this straight across to the rocket fuel. I suppose we can go ahead and upgrade this too. Like, we're going to be upgrading everything in the base shortly. So the way that this episode and the following episodes are probably going to work out, or at least the way that I'm kind of thinking about it, is so in this episode, like I said, we're going to do trains. We're going to do a module build over here. If it seems like I'm going to have extra time, we're going to do some maybe little tasking things here and there. I need to set up, like for instance, I mean, I can just go ahead and do this now, but we're going to branch some of these off. No. Just because we need to start the process of the trains collecting anything. Actually, I did not need this at all. Because these are just no longer going to be supplying anything for us. And then we will slowly, like I will eventually convert this from like a 6x6 to like a 6:2. Yeah, so in the next episode, we're going to end up, I'm probably just going to shove literally all the tasking stuff that I need to do into one video. I'm going to start the episode with making a steel smelting build that will match this smelting build over here with the electric furnaces. And I'm going to do a lot of tasking, and I might just have like a complete episode of just tasking. Let's just get it all out of the way in one video. Set up a bunch of miners, kill a bunch of biters, do any little menial things that we need to do. Speaking of which, I need to add some quality here. I am going to need a little bit better. Let's just bump this up to 200. I'm going to need slightly better substations. Okay, so what else does this need? This needs to request in some of the good uranium, the uranium 235. Sure, that works. And this is largely one of the reasons why I have such a large section here for, oh look, they are all saturated. How awesome is that? Such a large section for converting these is because we're going to need quite a few of the 235s for rocket fuel. This is getting filled up. That's great. That can just fill right up. Like, we're not going to use like anywhere near the amount of uranium that we're collecting, but we're going to be using lots of uranium fuel. Okay, so once this, okay, I should have at least started getting some nuclear. What's going on? Oh, okay, never mind. I know what's going on. We are kind of behind on the supplies for the bus. So let's just go over here real quick. We're gonna see if we can beef some of this stuff up. I'm mostly aiming to upgrade the gears. So we're just gonna upgrade the gear line so that it can move products faster. And then anything over here, because the poor blue logistics, oh my goodness, they're just like, just chugging along. Okay, so that's good for now. I think. Yeah, the better, the faster that we can make these, the blue logistics, the better. Because that is going to slow our progress. We can't add any modules to this to make it faster, unfortunately, so we just kind of have to rely on one, this guy not gobbling up too much of the... I should have just left it. Okay, that's a little better. Alright, we need to drop some trains. We are almost 17 minutes into this. And there's so many different things that I can get the bots to do, like... I could have been dropping concrete all over the base. Could have been doing a lot of things. But you know what? You only have so much time sometimes. Why did... Okay, somebody else must be coming. Okay. And I'm out of power. No! Let's actually... We're gonna need... where did it go? Yes. Power Armor Mark II. Yeah, sure, why not? That's gonna help us in space, and that's gonna help me with destroying biters later. Okay, back to trains. These take absolutely forever, so definitely one of the first things that we're going to do is give these guys some speed modules, because the faster we can get those up, the better. And this guy has fuel. He has one. They've really only made one in that amount of time? Come on. Oh no, there's some down here. One. Alright, I've just thought of another potential problem. The blueprint that we have set up is made for trains with rocket fuel. Oh wow, I am so much slower without those legs. Really? I can't open the train until it's crafted? We're going to be dropping a lot of trains too, so I believe the engines... Yeah, we'll give that guy some speed modules. Alright, bots, where's my train? There it is. Okay, I need to make a new train blueprint. Where did he go? Get back here! Come back! Can I hop in it from here? I can. Awesome. Let me go to the blueprint. We'll just make a new blueprint. Oh, I do not want to. Okay. So we already put one of these in. If I were to remove this train, all of this fuel would be wasted. It wasn't a big deal when we were doing it with the car because we were only using coal and wood and, you know, maybe, I don't think we ever used rocket fuel, but we could have. So once you start fueling vehicles with good stuff, you really don't want to be picking it up after. Okay, he can just go back to automatic, do whatever he was going to do. Which was head to the shunting yard. So he's gonna go to the shunting yard, and then he's immediately gonna go to the next area, which is probably gonna be over here, and he's gonna start loading up here. Oh, perfect timing. Oh, okay, fine. He went to that one first, so we're gonna end up getting some copper there. I'm probably just gonna do the same thing that I did. Do I really want to completely cut that off? Maybe this one I will split off. Or did I have this set up as... I did have it set up as copper. I could have done iron because I could actually maybe get 2 full belts. Try 4 full belt. Nah, not really. It is going to take so long to fully saturate this belt. My goodness. Okay, so let's make sure that this is going to be... I can see the rocket fuel. So let's just go ahead and stamp down a couple of these. It'll take the bots a bit. And then in the future, we can just use these 2 on the end since they are largely unused for now. Use those to... Yeah, so we're going to be 1 short because we do not have enough train creating capacity. Yeah, we're short on the engines. But that's okay. Once we get to module rank 2, which I believe is 50%. What? 30%? Oh, 50% is the good one. Alright, fine. Getting to the 30% for getting to the rank 2 modules will be, you know how fast they are. Jeez. I can't remember the last time I used nuclear fuel, and I've never used 1x2 trains. Okay, so they're going to probably fill in the... they might go over here, actually. Oh, yeah, looks like... There, finally got it. Okay, and our first shipment is coming in. And he only went here because that was basically the only one that was available. They do tend to go to the first ones first. This is perfectly fine. Let's just wait until he's empty, and now he should be going to shunting. Yay, it works. He will then stop at shunting, and we'll probably continue on. I love the sound that the elevated rails make. Okay. And that is probably going to saturate before this one saturates. Okay, so let's make a module build. You know what? As a quick little pit stop on the way, we're going to make some... Well, This is going to be one of the ugliest things I've ever done. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, the downside of having a lot of this stuff upgraded is you're only as fast as your slowest segment, so none of this, like, this isn't really going to help us, but like I said, we're going to be upgrading all of this shortly. That's going to be part of the next episode. I'm literally just going to do a bunch of tasking. We're going to get the bots to upgrade the whole base. You know, and we're just going to let that chug along. I'm going to speed up literally everything that I do. What was I coming over here for? Okay, so we're going to try to... Oh boy, we are going to squeeze in, and I do mean like really squeeze in a section here for... Oh, this is gonna look so janky. It's okay. We need to make some engines. And I don't know, let's see if we can make this work here. I need some flamethrowers. I have this recessed down for a couple of different reasons. One, we're gonna need some steel. This will need to... What does this need? Oh no. We need pipes and we need iron gears. Okay. Why do I feel like this is not going to work? Wow. Literally one of the jankiest things I've ever had to do. This is not going to work. Oof, okay, and then this can be... And that can be engines. Oh, now where am I going to put the output? Enable if flamethrower is less than 100? Sure, why not? Okay, we're making those. I don't want to look at that any more than I have to. We're not even going to think about it. We're just going to go. Okay, 29 minutes. We still need to make some modules. Thankfully, the modules are going to be pretty easy. We're definitely going to have to beef some stuff up. We need some green... So, whew, boy. We need some green circuits. We need some red circuits. We need some blue circuits. Basically, the circuits. All of them. Okay, so... We need to split this. Red continues on, blue continues on. Green continues on. Oh, I'm so glad we're using blue belts now. Okay, so what do we need? We need... blue modules, and we need rank 2. So the rank 1 needs... Oh, we're going to be using... We'll start with the rank 2 assemblers. It's just works easier for me. Okay, so we're going to need some green and red circuits coming in for this one. This one also needs red circuits, but it also needs blue circuits, and then it needs some of these. So these craft one every 0.05 seconds. This one needs 0.1 per second, so it needs 2 of these to fill one of these. These will make 0.02 per second. So we can probably fit 6 of these. We don't need this to be... We don't need these we don't need these builds to be big. We just need them to be making, basically. They don't need to be fast. They just need to be crafting. Once we get to Volcanus, we will end up kind of remaking this. So this will be obsolete shortly. I mean, you know me. Like, I don't end up getting to things like immediately. Like, we're not gonna arrive to Volcanus and then tackle everything the planet has to offer in one episode. But so it could be a while before we get to the module rank 3s. Anyways, I am going to have... Let's just do... We'll do green. I mean, I guess in theory it would be better if I just had the green come in on this one. Red come in here. Blue come in here, and we'll do all the logistical work on site. So blue can just go bye-bye. That is still not far enough back. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so green comes in here, gets split off, and it goes to the top. Red comes in here, gets split off, goes underneath green, and goes to the bottom of this belt. So that's that one covered. So for this one, for the red and the blue, so I think we're just going to have one output belt and one input belt. Something like this. So then we can have, I'll say output, output, output. The next one would need input, input, input. These will need to output as well. You know what, just in case we did decide we wanted to make more of these later, we could tuck this in nice and tight. I don't think we can put it right up against, but you know what, let's just see. So this one would be blue. So if this is the output and this is the input, we would need this to... be like this. Blue comes through, goes under here, gets split off, goes on the bottom side. Red goes through here, underground, splits, and goes to the top side. Red continues on, green continues on. Okay, and it's gonna look basically something like that. Conveniently, we can copy all of this. We don't want to catch any of the other stuff, and we can hit V to vertically flip and just kind of line it all up. The inserters will be wrong. These are right. Those are outputs. And then these we need to change these to productivity modules. And productivity rank 2. So we're doing the ones that we prefer, the priority ones first, and then we will do quality and then efficiency on the back. We generally don't care about efficiency, even though, funny enough, it's probably the one that we've used the most of right now because of all these in the miners. Okay, so these can continue on, and we can also probably just copy this, line it up. Well, that was easy. We can probably also copy the whole thing and line it up here. The power pole is not going to be... The power pole is going to be a problem, but you know what? We can upgrade it if... Ooh, we have 3. Nice. So when you're dealing with quality, so if I want to upgrade this, I can pipette this item, and then I can Alt and use my mouse wheel to scroll through the different qualities. So all the way down is rank 1, rank 2, rare, rank 3, epic, rank 4, and legendary, rank 5. And then just replace it. And there we go. That will upgrade, and we will need that one to upgrade too because they will not be able to connect. This one fine, this one's fine. Okay, so this is going to be quality modules, rank 1, and quality module rank 2. And this is efficiency and efficiency rank 2. Okay, let's just take another quick look, make sure that this is going to work. Green comes in, red comes in. We only need, what, 1.5 per second, so that's basically nothing of the green. That hurts a little bit for the red, but you know what? We're going to be upgrading everything, like I said, eventually, so... Like, look at how little this is crafting. That's insane. And this, look at this copper belt. This copper belt is not stopping. It is not backing up. A whole belt of copper, and it's only producing this amount of LDS. Good thing we get some of that stuff for free later. Kind of. Okay, so we do not need any of this either. I have no intention of... Oh wait, no, that still needs to go. This one does not need to go. Sure. I have no intention of extending this at all. Okay, so which one is the provider line? The provider line is here. Is this going to cover? Oof. Oh, it's just going to not work out for us. That'll work. This one, however, will not. Rip. Oh, but if we move it... Excuse me. He just took the... But... What? Alright, whatever. That'll still work. Okay, so... We definitely want these in chests. And we'll just do the blue in here. Let's just go with 200. You know what? We'll circuit connect it just in case. So enable if rank 2 is less than 200. We could do more. Like, we don't need a lot of these because we're going to be... I mean, we do need a lot of these, but... You know what, it's fine. If we need more, we can always increase the quantity. Okay, let's connect this bad boy and see if it works. I wonder if it's going to work. Oh, I love blue belts so much. Okay, everybody has power. Everybody is getting green circuits. Everybody's getting red circuits. If we really wanted to add more, we obviously have a little bit of room. I am really not concerned with it. This will be plenty. Because we'll forget we have these, and then we'll use a bunch, and then we'll forget we have them again, and then use a bunch more, so... Okay, looks like everything is working. Red circuits are an issue. Blue circuits will be an issue. Oh, very much so. Red circuits are probably an issue because of green circuits, yeah. Okay, hold up. Like, all these situations where I did not... Oh, okay, I did it there. I did it here. And it's largely unnecessary for some of the other ones. Okay, so when you see situations like this with the copper... You can see that these belts are all moving and this one is not. We could probably just remove this belt. This is also some kind of an indicator that we might be having problems. I mean, of course we're having problems, but yeah, you know. Pretty soon we are just going to replace all of these. Since we are stealing some of this copper, we're going to jump this one over as well. This one was copper, so these two belts here will end up feeding this guy, and this one was iron. To feed from these guys. And we replacing these, I'll probably end up taking... Oh, good, I put 4 belts. I'll take all 4 of these belts and connect them into these. And we will have to set this up too. Okay, so... we will deal with some of this later. You already have seen me do it before. Stuff like that with the setting up the miners. So you kind of know, you know, what to expect. That is going to be it for me for this episode. If you've been enjoying my content, well, you know what to do. And be sure to join the Discord. Like, I have the blueprints available in the Discord. I largely I did that because it seemed like people were only clicking my videos to get the blueprints, and it was kind of destroying my watch time hours. So I decided, you know what? If people just want the blueprints, I want to give them a place to go where they can just get the blueprints. That's it. And, if they don't want to watch my videos, that's fine. I'm here to help the player base. So, um, but I also want to, grow my YouTube channel. It's kind of hard when people are wrecking my metrics. But anyways, yeah. So join the Discord. We have some conversations back and forth in there sometimes too. So. The more people we have, the more conversations we will end up having, the more questions are asked, the more questions that are answered. Um, yeah, so that's it for me for this episode. So in the next one, it's like I said, it's gonna be quite a bit of a different video. It's not something that I've ever done before, at least not as a full standalone video. We will have a little bit of interaction or a little bit of things to talk about because I'm going to tear down this steel smelter and we are going to produce a new steel smelter. The iron that we have over here, this can literally just be copied and pasted onto all of these copper and iron lines, and half of it for the stone brick. The steel, however, will need something a little bit different. I think, you know what, I'm probably just going to end up doing something similar to what we did here. Just kind of split it in the middle. I had this idea that I was going to maybe set up something kind of like this and have like, all right, space them out and have one feeding into this and this feeding onto the line and this feeding in like this. But then I was like, you know what, that's going to be a lot of extra space that I don't really want or have the room for. So we're just going to do similar to this, just butt up against each other. Anyways, that is it for me for this episode. I will see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.